Good morning, coders. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make the navigation bar for your deliverable project. So hopefully you find this one useful. So remember, last video we learned a little bit about how to make a specific style class for a header tag, and a navigation bar is really a way to kind of apply that knowledge. So we're going to go ahead and try it out here. So a navigation bar is kind of like this thing you see on code.org already on the top, and I'm going to be using some of the source from W3 Schools, create a top navigation bar here. This is kind of what I'm basing it off of, but first things first is we're going to add a div. So a div is a divider class. It's just a good way to divide up our code, and then this is where we'll apply the class. So I'm going to call this navigation, maybe just navbar for short. And now we have our navbar. So what goes in our navbar? It's just basically a bunch of links. You can see on code.org they rounded the edges here. So if you wanted to make it look like this, remember you can always right click and inspect, and you can see what does the code look like for these header buttons. So you could always check that out. So we're gonna need a bunch of links. So href equals math. Remember, we're making a page for each of our classes, and I forgot a quote there, so let's go ahead and copy this a few times. ELA, art, I'll say I'm in Spanish for my world language, and we have Fossey. And then these hrefs, we're going to make these pages in a second, but these will all have to match the name of the pages. So we're going to go ahead and change these names for the links here also. And I forgot to put a home page. And the home page will be the index.html that we already have. Alright, so now we have that, not styled, but we have our links in place, and we're going to add the style in a second. I'm going to show you, so if you need to add multiple pages to your code.org project, you just click this button, and it'll give you a new page. Then I'm going to rename these to math, add a new one, rename it to ELA, etc., etc. I'll leave the rest to you. And then back at index, you're going to want to go ahead and copy this style sheet over into both of your pages so that your navigation bar will look the same on those pages. And then go ahead and copy the, actually we're not going to do that quite yet. One thing we have to do is give this a class of active, because we want to be able to highlight. You can see on this one on W3 Schools, they highlight the bar that's selected. So we want to do that as well. So we're going to name this class active for this link. And now we can go ahead and copy and paste it. So we'll take our whole nav bar and put it on our math page, put it on our ELA page, and then we just have to change this class active to whatever's the active page. So this one's ELA, so we'll put it here. And then on math, we'll delete this, and we'll put it there. Alright, so now we have kind of the basic setup for it, but now we need to add styling. So let's go ahead and see how we're going to style this. So the first thing we want to do is select this div, which has a class of navbar. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and delete at least the P&H one. I'll leave body. So remember, to select a class, you have to put dot and then the name of the class. And then go ahead and add your curly braces. So now I've selected the navbar, and what do I want to do? I'm going to give it a background color of, let's go with light pink. And you can see that it did that. And then overflow will go to hidden. I'll show you what this does in a second, but it basically just makes it so like if we're scrolling our page and our content flows over, it hides it instead of, let's see if it works if I do auto. Maybe I'll just leave it off for now. We'll see how it works. they include it over here. But let's see why we need it in a second. So then let's go ahead and now we're going to style the links. So dot navbar. So this will select this div. And then we need a second selector for the A tags. So now this dot navbar and then the A is going to select all of these A's in here. But any other links we include at the bottom won't be styled. So that's good because we don't want to style the links that aren't in the navigation bar the same way. So we're going to only select dot navbar and then A, so it'll select just these. And in there, so what do we want to do? We really want to make this a little bit bigger, so let's go ahead and add some padding on the top, 12 pixels maybe, and then padding on the bottom. And then it's not doing anything, so this is why I think we need the overflow. Nope, not quite. What else do we need? Float left. There we go. And then you need that, see now without this, so we needed the float left. What does float do? So let's look that up. Float CSS. Floats to the left of its container, used to wrap text around images. So basically we want all these links to float to the left, and then that's what's going to apply the background. I'm not a pro in this. I'm really just copying this and figuring it out as I go, but we know we have to include it, and like let's try float right, see what happens. It floats to the right, so it makes sense what it does. We want everything to align to the left. There's no float a center, so we'll just stick them to the left. Some people wanted to align the content to the center. It doesn't quite work. So let's go ahead now, and then we need some padding on the left. So I did these all, and then some padding on the right. So I did these all individually, but a shorthand for this would be if you just wrote padding 12 pixels, and then that'll take all 4 of these and just apply it. So this is just a shorthand, but this is what I'm doing, is I'm applying 12 pixels on all sides. And then, all right, I mean this is getting somewhere. I don't really like these underlines on it, so I know that that one is the text decoration none. That'll get rid of the lines. All right, cool. And now we just need some special style for the active. So dot navbar active dot active. You can even put a dot active. This is going to select so anything in the navbar div, and then if it's an A and it has the active class, we're going to select it here. And let's just go ahead and change the background to be purple. And then my font color need a different color, huh? For this one, so let's leave it, make it purple as the default, and then when it's active, we'll make the color be pink. All right. And there we go. And the last thing we want to do is dot navbar a hover. So when you're hovering over it, let's go ahead and make it a different color. So I'll just change the background to purple and the color to be pink, just like I did when it's active. So now when I'm hovering over it, I can see that I'm going to this one. You can maybe make it a little different than the active. So you just change these, but this looks fine to me. And that's basically it. So now when you click math, it'll go to the math page. It'll be active, and I can go, this is broken because it says index.html.html. Let's fix that. And then I can click this, and I broke. So this is why you really want to make sure this works before you can copy and paste it to all your pages, so that you don't have to fix typos on every page. But now at least those 3 links are working. and you have a header bar, a navigation bar on your page. Very simple. There's a lot more you can do to kind of spruce it up and make it fancier, but that's the thing. And this is also in our class notes if you want to take a look at the source code, or again, you could find this example on W3 Schools and modify it to your needs. But hopefully that helps you make a navigation bar for your deliverable project, and happy coding. I'll see you next time.